Good evening. Welcome to our spring middle school jazz concert. I believe the first concert that we've done collectively in a couple years with the middle school and the high school. So we're real excited to be able to perform for you here this evening. This is always one of my favorite nights of the year. Because jazz is truly an American treasure, born in this country, and it's one of only two music types. I won't talk about the other one, country, that was funny, you can laugh. Okay. It was actually born in the United States. So it's great that we can keep this genre of music alive, and I believe it's our responsibility as music educators at the elementary, middle, and high school level, as well as at the university level, to keep jazz alive, and it certainly is here at NA. And what I'd like to do first, before I introduce our first band, is just do a couple thank yous, because as we get into the evening and you start enjoying yourselves and the music is flowing, sometimes we forget to thank those very important people. So I did take some notes here. So I'd like to start off by thanking our school board for their support of the arts, as well as the administration at NAI and all three middle schools for providing support for not only jazz music, but for the arts, band music, orchestra, choral, musicals, theater in general. We're very fortunate to work in a school district that not only supports the arts, but backs up that support with supplying us with the facilities and equipment to do so. I'd especially like to thank my administration up here at Nash, Natasha Durda, Angela McEwen, and TJ Salapak. They're three wonderful people to work for here in this building, and they are certainly extremely supportive. So without further ado, we'd like to get the music going, and our first band of the evening comes from Carson Middle School, and it is under the direction of Zaina Dea, the Carson Middle School Jazz Ensemble.
All right before we do our last song, I just wanted to say thank you for everyone for coming out. I have seen a lot of the parents so far, but I'm going to introduce myself again. My name is Zaina Dea. I'm the long-term substitute at Carson Middle for band, and this has been such an incredible experience, especially for the jazz band. They have been so supportive and so helpful, and to be honest, every time I have questions, I look to them because they are so helpful. And so I'm just really thankful for this opportunity, and I'm so excited to be here with you all tonight. And I wanted to say thank you to all the wonderful music staff at NA. They have been extremely helpful and supportive, and they have made this transition so easy for me. So just a huge thank you to the music department at NA. And now we are ready to play our last piece for you. This is called Dos Gatos Bailando.
Let's have another round of applause for the Carson Middle School Jazz Ensemble. As with any concert, obviously, we have some changes that need to be made in between ensembles, so if you could just hold tight, we're going to get the Marshall Middle School Jazz Ensemble out, and I'll be back to introduce them and their director shortly. It's not going to be in the whole time. I'll make sure you can see it.
Are we good?
You let me know when you're ready. You ready? Okay. Yes. Well, that was a wild first. Okay, that was one of the fastest stage changes in the history of middle school jazz band, I think. So I was going to run and grab a drink of water, and I didn't even have time to do that. Wow, you guys, Marshall Middle School and Carson, are on top of the stage changing things. So another couple other thank yous before we continue is the gentleman you might have seen walking back through here, Mr. Bob Tozier, is not only our department chair here for music, he's also running all the stage stuff, the lights and the sound and the miking, along with his crew back there. So please, they're in the back. Give them a round of applause. We could not do this without them. Here's one of them right there. It's a great group. This doesn't just happen with lights and sound and mics and all this stuff. So, and I'm clueless when it comes to electronic stuff, so I leave that to the experts. And also a thank you to the NADBP, the North Allegheny, hello, District, hi, District band patrons. Hopefully someday you all become involved in the organization and help us, and because without you guys this doesn't happen either. You know, the teachers, we teach and we direct, and but with all that goes on with jazz band and marching band and the concert bands and the percussion groups and the auxiliary units, and it really does take a lot, and it's you parent volunteers that really make it run. So give yourself, please, a round of applause. Give your parents a round of applause. All right, because we want you. And hopefully you'll stick around for Ingomar after this, and then hopefully for Jazz Ensemble 1 too, and hear them. We're looking forward to that. So I'm going to be quiet now and introduce our next ensemble from Marshall Middle School, where my son went to middle school, and had this fine music educator up here, Mrs. Linda Granite. So I'd like to introduce you to the Marshall Middle School Jazz Band in the capable hands of Mrs. Linda Granite.
He's a little taller than I am, quite a bit actually. Okay, so we are playing 3 numbers for you tonight. The first one is called A Blues to Grow On, and we have 3 soloists, Evan Hu on trumpet, Shuchir Jain alto saxophone, and Shreya Mehta on trumpet. How about another round of applause for those soloists? I want to take a moment and thank a couple of people. We have a high school student playing with us today. This is Chucky Kublik. He plays in Jazz 1, and we are grateful for him playing along with us tonight on upright bass. And I also want to thank a gentleman named Mike McGarrigle, who's probably hiding backstage. There he is. Now you're going to come out. Just wave. It's a good audience. So Mike is a fantastic saxophone player who has been teaching with me for the past 6 weeks. And he's actually almost done. He's going to graduate. He's going to need a job. So if you hear of any band jobs, let him know, okay? He's a fantastic educator, and it's been a true pleasure to work with him. And he texted me. I was actually at a band festival today. He said, hey, do we need to bring the Barry sax to Nash? And I went, because I forgot. He said, it's okay, I'll bring it. I'm going up to Slippery Rock and then coming back down. So he's had a very busy day. Thank you so much, Mr. McGarrigle. Thank you. Our next song is on Broadway, and we have 4 soloists, Chloe Howe on flute, Taha Siddiqui on alto saxophone, Aradhya Sarkar on clarinet, and Charlie Dowd on alto saxophone. ask for another round of applause for those fantastic solos. I think I might have been in 10th grade before I had a solo, and so I just think it's really great that we can offer, we didn't have jazz in middle school where I grew up, and I just think it's fantastic that the North Allegheny School District supports us in having a middle school jazz program, because I think we can all agree this is just great for kids. And I know some of the schools get up early to come and rehearse before school, and I believe one of our buildings rehearses after school. It's extra time, it's extra work for you as a parent, and I just really appreciate all that you do and in supporting our kids as well. Before we start our last song, I want to thank Nash, the administration, Dr. Durda and her assistant principals, Bob Tozier, who is our department chair, and the stage manager who runs all the sound. And I believe he has some high school students with him tonight as well that are running lights and sound. So thank you so much, guys. And our last song is called Big Band Bop, and it features Cooper Lemon on drum set. Thanks again. We do need a few minutes to set up for Ingomar Middle School. You've been a great audience, and I really appreciate you coming and listening to us tonight.
Okay, our final middle school band of the evening comes from Ingomar Middle School, and this is kind of a special night, and actually I feel kind of honored to introduce this gentleman who I've called a friend for a long time, fellow Youngstown State Penguin, right? The finest university. No, I won't. Okay. Lou and I both attended Youngstown State University, although he's a tad bit older than I am. He's only been teaching for 75 years, so.
That's right, 29.
20, so there is hope for me, right? I'm close. In all seriousness, though, you know Mr. Pisani is retiring at the end of this year, and it has been my pleasure and my honor to be able to not only call this gentleman a colleague, but a dear friend as well. I only hope that after he leaves here on June 3rd, him and I can still keep in touch and hang out and get some dinner and still love Maynard Ferguson together and the Youngstown State University Penguins. So it is my great honor and privilege to bring to the stage my good friend and an excellent music educator and jazz educator, and he's going to be loving life here in a couple of months, or in a month or so, right? So Mr. Lou Pisani and the Ingomar Middle School Jazz Ensemble.
Thank you. We're going to start off with a piece reminiscent of the Count Basie Band, which is probably, other than Maynard Ferguson, probably my favorite band that I love to listen to, and it has been a very special part of me listening to the Basie Band and actually hearing them live. Filling in for the Count is kind of a tribute to the Basie Band, and you're going to hear our piano player take that role of Count Basie, where he would fill in the spots around the ensemble with just cute little phrases. So you're going to hear Paxton Rispano on piano. Then you're going to hear improvised solos by Francis Randiga, Tyler Reynolds, and Paxton's then going to play an improvised solo. And you're going to get a treat with a jazz drum solo by Billy Freeberg, filling in for the Count. Our next selection was made famous by the Glenn Miller Orchestra, and I believe that band is still out touring, maybe one of the last of the big bands still out touring on a regular basis. And this song's probably noted for its trumpet solo. Being a trumpet player, I know that. I've had many cracks at it, and I've been successful, I think, a few times with it. It's not an easy solo, so on this, they incorporated the solo. They made it an easier solo for middle school. But I'm blessed this year with some pretty amazing trumpet players, and wrote it out in the key that we are playing it in. Nonetheless, it's not any easier, and I've had to adapt it for them. But Bryce Miller and Jonathan are going to come out front here, and they are going to play this famous trumpet solo as it was recorded by the Glenn Miller Band, and they are doing it from memory as well. So we hope you enjoy this little signature song by that famous orchestra. Folks, it's been a real pleasure being a part of NA. It's been a real pleasure being a part of the jazz program. I think you can agree with me, jazz is alive and well here at North Allegheny. And I look forward to coming back and hearing how it continues to grow and the level of professionalism not only displayed by the students playing, but also how they approach each other and just as human beings. I want to thank all the people in the music department staff for everything that we go through. You don't see the behind the scenes, but there is a tremendous amount that goes on behind the scenes. and a tremendous amount of dedicated people, and they're in it here for kids. So it's a real pleasure to be a part of that. A great example of the dedication of students, and I just want to recognize this one young man that's on stage. Today, he was part of an honors band down at South Fayette for 7 hours of practicing, and we got back to NAI at 5 o'clock. He was here at 6:15, and he's here ready to play. And I just wanted to point that out to you. That's Blake Hoffer here on the tenor saxophone. He's an example of the dedication that we have from students in our department. So continue to support these young people. You know, they're giving up their time to be in jazz band. You know that. Others don't realize that they're a part of something that really doesn't show up on a transcript right now. But they're doing it for the love of what they are involved with. And as directors, we are incredibly appreciative for that. It's not hard for me to be excited getting in front of this group after school because of their dedication and them wanting to succeed. That's what's going to make it tough at the end of this year. But, you know, we all come to that stage in our careers where we have to make a decision, and I've made that decision. It's been tough these last few months, but we're going to continue on. In any event, we're going to close our part of the program with a new piece we put together called Fiesta del Tigre, and we have a trumpet solo in the middle of this by Connor Greenberg.
Oh, no. All right. Let's hear one more time for the Ingomar Middle School Jazz Ensemble and their director, Mr. Lou Pisani. No, we're good. We need to stand. No, we need to stand. Oh, I thought you needed a chair. Ben, Marissa, Austin, can you hear the piano okay? You guys are friends from Gobby, play a little bit. I'll find my way. We can turn them up a little. Just a little bit, just a little. Thank you. Play a little bit. How about the bass, guys? A little bit more? You had to do it tonight. You five are good? What? Turn the piano up just a smidge. Yeah, you turn the piano up a little. He doesn't want you standing for the song. Just the first one. Yeah, just the first one. I don't think you guys have a second one. I don't know why it's that. Yeah. It's just the same thing. All right. Another hand for Mr. Tozier.
Allow me to introduce this next group. As Mr. Stefan alluded to, we're both penguins. Yeah, we do walk like penguins every now and then, too. Unfortunately, we didn't hit Youngstown at the same time, but, you know, he has brought so many things from the university here. It's something that's been special to me, and I know when my kids come up here that he's really going to challenge them with literature. And it just so happens I'm looking over the program, and the very first tune that you're going to hear is one that I played at Youngstown State. And that's the kind of quality that he is insisting from these young people. It is my pleasure to call him a friend of mine and another terrific musician. I wish he would still play the drums, though, so I could get him to, so we could do some gigging maybe together. But a fabulous educator as well. And I'm really excited to hear his Jazz Ensemble 1 under the direction of Mr. Todd Stefan. Thank you.
Okay, now for our next tune. Thank you. That was entitled 456, written by the late, great Frank Foster, who played tenor sax in the Count Basie Orchestra, and then later, after Basie's passing, became one of the band leaders. And he wrote that tune for the band. It happens to be one of my favorite Basie tunes of all time. You heard, starting us off, almost like Mr. Basie himself, Gubby Gott's on the piano, right? Did he leave already? He's got a soccer match somewhere. Yeah, he took off. He got a soccer. Yeah. So he came to play one tune and left. What a guy, huh? And then we heard from Ben Swihart on the baritone saxophone, Mr. Ben Swihart. And then we also heard from 10th grader, believe that he's in 10th grade, Dan Longo on the tenor saxophone. I didn't give you any more. And we also have to give some love to 3 other folks, I think, on that as a group, maybe the rhythm section. That's a real tour de France for it doesn't sound like they're doing a whole lot, but the Basie thing's a hard thing to do. It's a really hard thing to do, and to have that rhythm section play like that. So Nolan, nice job on that. Chucky, nice job. And then also our lead trumpet player. That's not easy, what he just did up there. So Mr. Jason Payson on the lead trumpet up there. All right. And honestly, I believe one of the most unsung sections in that whole piece is the trombone section. They have some really cool licks going on in there, and those lows in the bass trombone. I think Marissa Wright's playing bass trombone and the lead trombone, which reminds me, our trombone section isn't really our trombone section. We have one trombone player who's also a percussionist, and he's in Dayton at the World Championships for indoor percussion. And then we have another trombone player who is at an international or national robotics competition in Houston. And I went, oh, what am I going to do, right? So we brought up Evan Greenberg, right, to fill in. He's only had one rehearsal with us, and he's done a good job. And then Olivia and Ruby are playing different parts. So give them a lot of credit, and Marissa for helping them out, for sure. Okay. We're going to continue with something in the same vein, but like maybe from a different section of the country. Basie came out of the Midwest. This next tune is more of a West Coast kind of a sound. And I first heard this tune a long time ago. I was only in high school, and my parents, we were going on college visits, believe it or not. We were in Tennessee. And I had this, remember what a Walkman is? People who are my age remember a Walkman with cassette tapes, right? And I had this cassette tape. It was Walkman Jazz, Quincy Jones. And there was a tune on this. I mean, I loved all the tunes on there, but there was a tune I really loved, it was Whisper Not. And as I grew up, I've played Whisper Not, in bands that I've been in and whatnot, but I've never done it with my high school jazz band. I thought, this might be a good year to do that. Written by the great Benny Golson, arranged by Al Cohn. This is the exact transcription off that Quincy Jones album. We're going to feature quite a number of soloists on this, and I hope I have this right. We're going to hear from Ben on the Barry sax again. Julia Fancher on the piano, right, doing a little Wynton Kelly transcription. Olivia Torringau on the trombone, and she just started playing this solo a couple rehearsals ago. And finally, Eric Bloomquist, right, on the alto saxophone. So this is Benny Golson's tune Whisper Not, as done by the Quincy Jones big band when he was doing real music and not producing Michael Jackson. I'm sorry. Did I say that? I didn't mean that. So this is Whisper Not by Benny Golson. Thank you. That was entitled Whisper Not by Benny Golson. If you look in your program, we have, 8 tunes listed, and we're going to play all 8. No, I'm just kidding. We're actually going to end this evening. We have one more. We really plan to do 3, just like the middle schools. It's about the middle schools tonight. We're just here to sort of be a guest and let you guys kind of hear what you have to look forward to. And I hope to see all of your students up here eventually. We had 4 high school jazz bands at one point, and then obviously we had a pandemic happen, and we have 2 now. So I'm hoping that we can see you all here on, is it May 6th, I think? May 6th, on Friday, May 6th, and we're going to feature this band, and we will play most, if not all, of the tunes listed here, as well as Jazz Ensemble 2. So we'll have 2 full bands for your listening pleasure on the 6th. So we're going to wrap things up tonight with an original tune. This kind of reminds me, it's like a cross between Saturday Night Live band and Tower of Power, but we thought it would be a cool thing to do. So we have a number of soloists here, but they're kind of short, actually. So make sure I have this right here. We're going to hear from Eric again on the alto saxophone, right? And Noah on the tenor sax, right? We've got Noah going on the tenor sax. Joe Ebert is going to play a trumpet solo for us, and this seems to be the Ben Swihart show. So Ben's going to play again on that big saxophone, and Nathan Lamb on alto sax. And then Dan Longo, again, on the tenor sax. We opened with him. We're going to close with him. And then we're going to have a bit of a saxapalooza where they're all going to play for a chorus. So thank you very much for coming out tonight. Thankfully, the weather was a lot better than it has been this past week. We do hope you enjoyed all the ensembles. I certainly did. So let's give the middle schools another big round of applause, and their directors as well. Thank you all. You guys are the future. And I'm old enough now to remember when these guys were in middle school, and I remember listening to them at this event. And it's neat to have them up here now, and then hopefully it'll be great to have your students up here, if not next year, in a couple years for sure. Okay, so we're going to wrap things up tonight with a Mike Carubia original, and Everything Tastes Better with a little bit of barbecue sauce. Nolan Collery on the drums. I can't believe I forgot to mention him. I'm a drummer. Nice job there, Nolan. The saxophone section. Joe Ebert, trumpet. Who did I leave out? The saxophones, is that it? Okay. All right, guys, thank you so much for coming out. We do hope you enjoyed the show. If you enjoyed it, come out May 6th and hear Jazz 1, this band again, as well as Jazz 2. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody, and thank you. Good night. All right, hey, guys, listen, could you do me a favor? Could everyone just take a stand in a chair and bring it to the camera? Because I want to try and get Wind Band and Carson to come there out on stage. What's that? What's that? No. If you guys can clear the stage for me, that would be awesome. You want this in the closet? Yes. If you could. And could you guys push the vibes in the room about? Handers don't worry about, but if you could help them make songs, it'd be great. Behind the curtain, up on those risers. Guys, move with the amp back.
Everyone's how to go. Is it mics off?
Just set them on, well.
I just put it on the ground.
I think if we put him under the chair, he's going to come right up. I just put him right next to him. Yeah, just don't step. For our first time out, that's not bad. Hey!
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I didn't recognize you.
I'm sorry, Nolan solo was the best part of the concert. Dude, I don't think I've ever heard more names in one song before.
So grab your cap. Well, I'm coming back from my chair.
Yeah.
Okay, I need someone like.
What is it stuff like? What is you?